Okay, it's now time for us to present the highlights of the 2018 full poverty statistics for the National Capital Movement. I would like to invite the Regional Director of the Philippine Statistics Authority National Capital Region, Sir Lodi, Masyadong Itizan, to deliver the report. A big hand for Sir Lodi.
Thank you, Anday. Director Ray Lunas of MBA, ASEC Rose Bautista, members of the Regional Statistics Committee and representatives of the regional line agencies, our beloved planning officers, friends from the media and other stakeholders, PSA Central Office representatives, the Chief Statistical Specialist, Ms. Bernadette, ng CSS ng NCR, Chief Statistical Specialist for Manila, San Juan, and Mandaluyong, Mr. Danilo Cobinar, na may meeting nata. The CSS, Mr. of NCR 2, Quezon City, and Marikina, Mr. Apple Oglea. The CSS of NCR 3, comprising the cities of Makati, Taguig, Pateros, and Pasig, Ms. Evelyn Bermudez, who is now in the 2020 Census of Population Workshop. Pero andito po si Ms. Beth Guse and Mr. Joel Cortez, ng NCR 3. The CSS of NCR 4, comprising the cities of Caloocan, Malabon, Navotas, and Valenzuela, Boss Bilen, Raso. The CSS of NCR 5, Las Piñas, Muntinlupa, Pasay, and Parañaque, Ms. Bambi, Villanueva. My colleagues from the PSA NCR, ladies and gentlemen, and those whose genders are neither ladies nor gentlemen, good morning po. The following are the NCR official poverty statistics that will be released in today's data dissemination. The poverty and food threshold, poverty incidence and magnitude of poor families and population, and subsistence incidence and magnitude of food poor families and population. In the full year of 2018, a family of 5 needed at least 11,951 pesos on average to meet both basic food and non-food needs in a month. This is an increase of 13.9% from the poverty threshold in the full year of 2015, estimated at 10,495 pesos. Poverty incidence among Filipino families in NCR in the full year of 2018 was estimated at 1.5%. This means that 15 out of 1,000 families have incomes below the amount needed to buy their basic food and non-food needs in the full year of 2018. This was estimated at 2.8% in 2015. The number of poor Filipino families in the full year of 2018 is estimated at 48,400. In the full year of 2015, this was estimated at 86,100 families. Poverty incidence among population in the full year of 2018 was estimated at 2.3%, which means that 23 out of 1,000 Filipinos belong to poor families whose incomes were below the amount needed to buy their basic food and non-food needs. In 2015, Poverty incidence among population in NCR was recorded at 4.1%. About 308,600 Filipinos had incomes that fall below the poverty threshold in the full year of 2018. In 2015, this was estimated at 522,800 Filipinos. For the full threshold of the region, in the full year of 2018, a family of 5 needed at least 8,345 pesos on average to meet their family's basic food needs in a month. This is an increase of 13.9% from full year 2015, which was estimated at 7,239 pesos. The subsistence incidence among Filipino families was estimated at 0.2% in the full year of 2018. This means that 2 out of 1,000 Filipino families have incomes below the minimum amount needed to buy their basic food needs in the full year of 2018. In 2015, the proportion of families who are food poor was recorded at 0.4%. The 0.2% subsistence incidence translates to about 8,200 families that fall below the food threshold in the full year of 2018. In 2015, this was estimated at 12,400 families. Among population, about 4 out of 1,000 Filipinos were categorized as food poor, with incomes below the amount needed to buy their basic food needs during the full year of 2018. In 2015, this was estimated at 0.7%. This translates to 54,900 Filipinos whose income falls short of the food threshold in the full year of 2018. This was estimated at 84,100 Filipinos in the full year of 2015. The following slides will present the distribution of provinces based on clusters and poverty incidence among families and population of cities and municipality in NCR. Cluster 1 refers to those provinces with relatively high poverty incidence. Cluster 5 refers to the group of provinces with relatively low poverty incidence, referred to as least poor cluster. In the full year of 2018, there were 3 provinces belonging to the poorest cluster. Meanwhile, there were 17 provinces and the 4 districts of NCR belonging in the least poor cluster in the full year of 2018. In 2015, 10 provinces and the 4 districts of NCR belong to this cluster. Now the poverty incidence among families within the districts of Metro Manila. In the first district, a difference in proportion of 1.7 percentage points were lifted out the poverty incidence. In the second district, a reduction of poverty incidence were also recorded from 1.9% in 2015 to 1.4% in 2018. In the third district, a difference of 1.1 percentage point in 2018 were reduced from the proportion of 34 out of 1,000 families in 2015. Lastly, in the 4th District, there was also a decrease in poverty incidence from 3.1% in 2015 to 0.7% in 2018. This indicates an achievement to overall poverty reduction in Metro Manila. Next, in terms of poverty incidence among population, the 1st District lifted out 2.4 percentage points among Filipinos of the region between 2015 and 2018. In the 2nd District, also reduced its proportion of citizens under poverty from 2.9% in 2015 to 2.3% in 2018. The 3rd District also have a decline in their poverty incidence among their population from 4.3% to 3.5% respectively, while the 4th District had the most reduced poverty incidence from 4.8% in 2015 to 1.1% in 2018. Given the new master sample, the PSA is capable of generating reliable statistics down to the provincial level as well as for the highly urbanized cities. Hence, we are able to generate poverty and subsistence incidences for these HUCs. This table presents the poverty incidences among families and population for the cities and municipality of NCR in the full year of 2018. On this slide, City of Manila as the only city of the 1st District, 1.9% among families within the city are under the poverty threshold. On the other hand, 30 out of 1,000 Manileños are considered as food and non-food poor. Meanwhile, cities that comprises the 2nd District, in terms of poverty incidence among families, 9 out of 1,000 families in the city of Mandaluyong were below the poverty threshold. 15 out of 1,000 families in city of Marikina, 18 out of 1,000 families in the city of Pasig, 14 out of 1,000 families in Quezon City, and 4 out of 1,000 families in city of San Juan. In terms of poverty incidence among population, Mandaleños recorded 1.3% poverty incidence, while cities of Marikina, Pasig, Quezon City, and San Juan have an estimate of 1.9%, 2.7%, 2.4%, and 0.8% respectively. In the 3rd District, poverty incidence among families in the cities of Caloocan, Malabon, Navotas, and Valenzuela is estimated at 3.2%, 1.3%, 2.4%, and 0.5% respectively, while poverty incidence among population is estimated at 4.9%, 1.9%, 3.5%, and 0.5% in the same order. In the 4th District of the region, poverty incidence in Las Piñas have recorded 1.0% among families and 1.7% among population. City of Makati with 0.2% among families and 0.3% among Filipinos. City of Muntinlupa with 0.8% among families and 1.1% among population. City of Parañaque with 0.6% and 1.0% respectively. Pasay City have 1.5% poverty incidence among families and 2.0% poverty incidence among population. The municipality of Pateros recorded 1.8% among the families and 2.5% among population. And City of Taguig have a proportion of 5 out of 1,000 families and 8 out of 1,000 of its citizens. All these tables in relation to the 2018 official poverty statistics are available from the PSA website, which can also be accessed through the following QR code. The PSA appreciates your presence in the full year 2018 official poverty statistics press conference. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you so much, Sir Ronnie. Moving along, it is now my pleasure to introduce our next speaker. On behalf of Chairman Lim, may I call on Mr. Jose Reynaldo B. Lunas, Acting Director 3 of Metropolitan Development Planning Services of the Metropolitan Manila Development Authority, to give us his statement.
Thank you. As usual po, pag-utusan ng chairman as the official designate at alternate niya sa Regional Statistics Committee. Magandang umaga po ulit sa inyo lahat. To ASEC Rosalinda P. Bautista, Director Pasiano P. Gison of the Philippine Statistics Authority, and if I may add, Mr. Danilo Binar and Ms. Bernadette Malamban, maraming salamat sa presentation kanina. To our colleagues in government, representatives from the academy, friends from the media, I think business world is here, and our Philippine Information Authority, and to our development partners, a pleasant morning to all of you. Before I begin, I would like to congratulate the Philippine Statistics Authority of NCR in conducting its first ever regional level press briefing for the poverty statistics that we have just seen. We also appreciate the PSA's efforts in the 2015 Census of Population for providing housing characteristics to give us a glimpse of the informal settler family figures for NCR in particular. It is important to have an updated data on poverty, as this will provide us with a more realistic picture of Metro Manila's situation as compared to that of the whole countries. So to the PSA, kudos, maraming salamat po sa lahat ng inyong efforts. It is an understatement to say how important to explore the necessary data and more so understand its significance for the region. To summarize the presentation earlier, poverty threshold is the minimum income of a family to provide for food and for basic non-food items such as clothing, housing, transportation, health, and education expenses, among others. Where the food threshold is a minimum income for basic food needs of those that were surveyed. Those living under the poverty threshold is considered poor. And those under the food threshold is food poor. Yan po yung summary ng ating presentation and press briefing for this morning. In 2018, poverty threshold in NCR reached 11,951 pesos, and the food threshold was 8,345 pesos. These are higher than the national figures for the country. And of course, the chairman concluded, this may be attributed to the higher cost of living in Metro Manila. Needless to say, the higher the poverty threshold and the food threshold, the higher income is needed by individuals and families to live by. For Metro Manila, the poverty incidence among families, as we have just seen, decreased from 2.8% in 2015 to 1.5% in 2018, with the city of Makati having the lowest rate of 0.2%, followed by the city of San Juan with 0.4%. Palakpakan po natin yung dalawang syudad nito. We have accomplished so much, and of course the other cities too. The data presented today will be greatly beneficial to all development planners and policymakers. Poverty still remains as one of the major challenges in our society. And this is where you, our friends in media, can come in. You can help us disseminate the news that poverty data is available for further use, such as for more evidence-based policies and programs. As envisioned in the President's Ambition 2040, all Filipinos should enjoy a strongly rooted, comfortable, and secure life. That's the President's dream and vision for the Philippines. As a response, MMDA, as the Regional Development Council for NCR, launched its first ever Regional Development Plan in November of 2018. It is included in this plan that those living in poverty are recognized as inherently vulnerable and exposed to social, environment, and economic risks. And they need more responsive assistance from the government and other stakeholders. It was identified in the plan that we need to reduce their vulnerability by improving the implementation of social welfare and protection programs and coming up with a convergence approach to help the poor and vulnerable become self-sufficient and self-reliant. As this may seem like grand plans to some, we encourage all of us together to take active participation in helping improve the lives of the poor. We would also like to assure you that the Metro Manila, the RDC, NCR, and MMDA will continue to coordinate with all the stakeholders to help address this major challenge. Magandang umaga po at maraming salamat.
Thank you for that insightful statement, Mr. Yunes. Ladies and gentlemen, you have heard the official poverty statistics for the full year 2018 for the National Capital Region. Now we're going to do a deep dive in today's session. May I call on the stage the following resource persons? Mr. Pashan Dizon, Asek Rosalinda P. Bautista, Director Jose Reynaldo B. Lunas, and Ms. Bernadette B. Balanda. Okay, and it's also my pleasure to invite here on stage Ms. Elaine P. Alianigue of the Philippine Information Agency, National Capital Region, to be the moderator for today's forum. A big hand for Ms. Alianigue.
Thank you very much. So a pleasant morning to everyone. So now, as after presenting the 2018 official poverty statistics for the National Capital Region, I believe our respected officials here in front are now ready to answer questions from our fellow media, government agencies, and local government units. So just a few reminders for everyone who would like to ask their questions. So please first state your name and your agency or organization, and then you can also give one question and one follow-up. So now the floor is open. Who would like to ask their first question? There's a microphone in front here. Kindly approach it. And also, please state the person who would like to ask.
Hi, good morning. My name is Alex from the Philippine Information Agency. This is open to anyone who wants to answer. From the survey that you've conducted, what are the main factors on why the poverty rate in the region decreased?
Normally, it's not the PSA that would explain yung improvement. And in the official press con that we did, it was the statement from the NEDA, the National Economic Development Authority, that gave it made the analytics on what are the possible areas. But based on the statistics that we looked at, we noticed improvements in income by way of increases in wages, entrepreneurial income, as well as transfers from domestic sources. So, nakita namin yung pagtaas ng income ng mga households na.
Thank you, that's all.
Thank you.
If I may add, I think the statistics also on unemployment, which has gone down, could be another factor that can be considered in the overall improvement in the poverty incidence and food incidence. So as Bautista mentioned, yung improvement in the wage rates, and of course, entrepreneurial incomes. Also, I think mga overseas remittances, and of course, yung unemployment went down. So which means more Filipinos or those in the labor force have gotten jobs.
All right. Who would like to give their question as well? Other.
Magandang araw po. Si Lourdes ko ng Business World. Ang tanong ko lang po, with the latest NCR data, do you think it could help or will make an impact in bringing down the poverty incidence by 14% by 2019?
Can you repeat your question?
Do you think it will make an impact on bringing down poverty incidence to, they said it's 14% by goal by 2022?
What will make the impact? Yung statistics na?
The statistics po ng NCR data.
What will it do? Can you please repeat?
Do you think, sir, the latest data would help bringing down the poverty incidence in national?
Of course, the National Capital Region, if I may ask, I can direct that, is a big chunk of the whole country. Diba? In terms of GDP lang, we are 35% minimum. So what happens in Metro Manila, as the saying goes, that's where the country goes. So a significant improvement in our poverty incidence and food incidence, of course, affects the whole country. We have a positive impact, diba?
Thank you, sir. So I believe we also have representatives here from government agencies and local government. So, meron po ba tayong mga tanong dyan na gusto nating ibigay? Narito po ang ating mga resource persons.
Good morning po. Kat Palmares from DOH NCR. I would just like to ask if the household projection will change this year, because you have given us the projection from 2018 to 2022, and the household projection is specific for each LGU. Is there a possibility that it will change this year, given that we will have the census of population?
Yung changed in the projection was actually based on the results of the 2015. So, yung census ngayong taon na to, ang result niyan lalabas ng December. As we are targeted to release the results to be proclaimed by the President as official before the end of the year. So, magkakaroon na ng, hindi na siya projected kung magkakaroon ng 2020 actual count of the households yun. And then a new set of projections will be released about starting within 2 years. So maybe 2022 magkakaroon ng release ng new set of projections. Pero in the meantime, between now and the release of the new official sets of projection based on the 2020 census, ang official ay yung based on the 2015.
Last na, follow-up po. Will it be also constant na average? For example, for NCR, average yung five households na gagamitin for all the LGUs, or specific din po siya for LGUs?
Specific. If your plan is very general, pwedeng a general average. Pero if you want to be more specific, kasi merong lugar na mas mababa, it matters yung population. Yung average household size matters between a 4.5 and a 4.6 and a 4.3. So, mas maganda kung magagamit mo yung mas exact na estimate doon sa average household. Average family size or household size.
Thank you, sir. Ma'am from the back po.
Good morning po. I'm Maricris Estepa po from the SWD NCR. So, ang question ko, ma'am, sir, with regard to the households po, it was presented na for the FIES, 180 households yung included. And ang question ko lang po is how did you identify the households na mai-include po doon sa mga mai-interview? Yes po.
So 180,000 sample households, we have what we call a master sample. So strategic siya. Hindi mo muna pinipili yung household, pinipili mo muna yung what we call enumeration areas. Every province is a domain. So lahat ng province may sample. Within each province usually it's the barangay, but if the barangays are big, they are cut into what we call enumeration areas. And these enumeration areas are usually done or identified during a census operation. Within each enumeration area, nag-select ka ng enumeration areas with probability according to population size na nandoon. And then from there, may listing ka ng household do sa enumeration area. And then from there, you select the sample households, what you call a simple random start, systematic. So systematic, computer ang mag-generate. Ang nag-generate ng sample household, nag-identify nung number are generated by the central office. Ama po, no? Sir Elmore. And then, hahanapin ng field offices from the list ng household, tapos siya identity. So it's basically, it's not the household, but the housing unit where the households are found. Kaya kung nagbago yung household na nakatira doon, yun ang sample mo.
Okay po. Nabanggit din po kanina na binabalikan po yung households after 6 months for July and January. So, given the mobility po ng households in NCR, paano po siya? Halimbawa, for July, nandoon yung households and then January, wala na siya. So,
Kapag ganun ang nangyari, hindi mo na siya kinukuha sa FIES. Kailangan kompleto yung full year. Kailangan 2 visits siya. So, kaya ang response rate becomes lower during the second visit kasi yung mga households na nag-move out or nag-transfer na sila, hindi mo na sila mahahanap.
thank you, ma'am.
Salamat din.
Thank you po. Other questions? How about questions from the local government uniques? Other government agencies?
Good morning po. I'm Mark from the NCR. So I just noticed po doon sa presentation ay yung mga superscript na mga sa poverty incidence sa mga families by district, may mga superscript na B, A, and C. So yung parang as a non-stat major, what is really the definition or what is produced out that coefficient of variation? Should we be bothered na may mga ganon or wala ba siyang effect ba talaga? Thank you po.
Okay. Dun po sa report po natin na available din, actually lahat ng tables na nasa report natin available sa website ng PSA, and it includes yung mga notes ng A, B, and C, and it includes also coefficient of variation, standard errors, and confidence interval to guide our users. Kasi diba parang may rule of thumb na kapag 10 ang CV, yun yung acceptable, yun yung reliable, and then acceptable to 20, tapos beyond 20, medyo cautious tayo sa paggamit ng estimates. So, what we did was to release all the estimates, but we provided notes sa aming report, sa publication, to guide our users na kapag medyo mataas ng CV, guided tayo na ganun yung estimate na yun. We also tested for the significance of, we used the test for testing the significance of difference ng mga estimates. So, for some of the estimates, nilalagyan namin ng notations on that. So, yun, available po lahat dun sa tables namin sa website tsaka sa report.
And follow up lang po sa tanong ni Ma'am kanina, how do you address yung sa response rate na bumababa po? Ano yung response rate? Yung parang sa second?
Umabot pa rin siya within the acceptable limit na I think for NCR, 21 ang yung final. So, out of 21,000 were respondents for yung nag-respond sa first and second visit. We don't have the exact responding households for the first and second visit, but we assure you that we have enough samples to estimate, to provide reliable estimates at the city level.
So parang negligible na lang po yung non-response rate?
Hindi naman sa negligible. I suppose NCR had the highest, which is always the case in most of the surveys that PSA does. Ang NCR lagi ang pinakamataas ang non-response because pagpunta mo doon, walang occupant yung housing unit na nasample.
Thank you.
Let me just put some additional explanations. Yung survey po kasi, yung nakukuha namin na estimate, are point estimate. Pero dahil po ito ay survey, hindi po namin tinanong lahat. Kaya po, estimate. Okay? Yung estimate po yun ay may error na tinatawag sa sampling. So, kaya po merong tinatawag na confidence interval. So pag yung makikita niyo po doon sa table, may confidence interval, yung point estimate, nasa gitna po yun. Ang sinasabi po ng confidence interval, yung totoong value ay nandito sa width na to, sa confidence interval. Kaya po, pwede siyang mas mababa, pwede siyang tumaas. So naglalaro nandoon within that confidence interval yung totoong value 90% of the time. So pwede rin may 10% of the time mawawala siya dun sa confidence interval na yun. Pwede higher pa siya or lower pa siya. So kapag po sinasabi natin na kapag between two survey, yung estimate, yung confidence interval ay nag-overlap. May patong yung confidence interval. Hindi po natin sinasabing significant yung difference between the two estimate. Ang ibig sabihin, pwede kasing nakikita natin yung numero, mas mataas yung isa kaysa dun sa other estimate, pero pwede pa lang yung totoo, pareho lang sila. No? Hindi sila significantly different. Kaya po pag may nakalagay doon na significant at 10%, then sigurado po tayo na talagang nagbago yung ating point estimate. So additional input lang po yun.
Add ko lang po, madam, ang NCR po, yung ating response rate for the NCR, we always see to it, hanggang kinakaya po namin, that the response rate of NCR is always higher than the national response rate. Yung po, kung ang national response rate, meaning sa buong Pilipinas ay 96%, we always go higher than 96%. Yung po ang goal lagi ng NCR in all surveys and censuses.
Thank you for that enlightenment po. More questions po. The floor is still open. Huwag po tayo mahiya. Ay, sir, sige po.
Again na po. As mentioned po regarding po dun sa error, di ba for every service that we conduct po, may tinatawag po tayong margin of error. For ano po, sa PSA po, ano po ba yung standard na margin of error for every service that you conduct po?
Wala talagang yung parang fix na
Yes po, during some things po.
Pero during the design of the master sample, you take into consideration na yung kasi rule of thumb na parang at most 10 yung acceptable na coefficient of variation. But we have to take note lang na yung coefficient of variation is a function of the standard error and the estimate. So, may tendency siya na pag mababa yung estimate, tumataas yung coefficient of variation. Pero, hindi ko alam yung exact, kasi from it's done by another group, but yung dinesign, yung kinonsider ng pag-design ng master sample is that, specifically for FIES, reliable siya at the province and highly urbanized cities na namin, yung sa pagdetermine ng sample size. Thank you.
More questions po? May gusto po bang humabol?
Balikan ko lang yung if I may, ma'am. Balikan ko lang yung question ng kulig natin kung TIA. The other factor that could be, and I'm asking and requesting Director Dizon to validate later. One of the reasons also why there were improvements in the incidence in the indices is we have rebased the consumer price index from 2006 to 2012, which means there are more the price index used or the prices for the basic or for the items in the food bundle, are more realistic kasi mas malapit sa totoong latest year. At the same time, in 2012 compared to 2006, which I'm requesting to be validated, we can take a look at historically. Baka mas mababa yung prices in 2012 compared to 2006. So that can be another factor. Kasi yung sa equation natin, very important yung presyo, di ba? Noong mga items under the food banner. And the other expenses, of course.
Alright, thank you very much po for those wonderful explanations from our resource person in front. So, I think, okay. Alright, we are now moving forward. I will now be passing the mic to our MC. So once again, I'm Marin Alinige po from the Philippine Information Agency, National Capital Region. Thank you very much po.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I was seeking for your participation in today's forum. As a token of appreciation, may I call on Sir Lonnie, together with the officer in charge, Chief of the Statistical Operations and Coordination Division, to present a certificate of appreciation to the resource speakers. Allow me to read the content of the certificate. Republic of the Philippines, Philippine Statistics Authority, National Capital Region. The certificate of appreciation is hereby presented to for serving as a resource speaker during the Regional Dissemination Forum of the 2018 Official Poverty Statistics conducted on the 21st of January 2020 at Century Park Hotel, Manila, given this 21st day of January 2020 at the city of Manila, Philippines. Signed, Pasiano B. Dizon, Chief Statistical Specialist, Officer in Charge of PSA NCR. Mr. Jose Reynaldo B. Lunas, from Metropolitan Manila Development.
Malamig pa nga sa...
Asset Rosalinda T. Bautista. Thank you. And of course, Miss Bernadette D. Balamban. Okay, to our resource speakers, you may now take your seats. Thank you. Okay, for a few announcements. Please support the Philippine Statistics Authority in all its undertakings. Starting this week, 2020, we will have the CPH, or Census of Population and Housing, and mass registration for the Philippine Identification System, or the PhilSys. I believe marami nagtatanong tungkol dito. So that will be July to December 2020. And should you want to download the presentation materials presented today, please do so. The URL would be bit.ly/poverty-ncr, all caps. Now, to formally wrap up this event, may I call on Mr. Elmer G. Bantilio, Officer in charge of the Statistics Operation and Coordination Division of Philippine Statistics Authority National Capital Region, to deliver the closing remarks. A big hand for Mr. Bantilio.
Good morning! Naging formal event ano? Dati may lamesa tayo dito. First, I would like to thank everyone, the regional line agencies, the regional statistics committee members, and our friends from media. And of course, the PSA NCR family who supported this activity. So I have a question for you guys. Mahirap ba kayo? Having heard the presentations, na mahirap pa tayo? Parang hindi, ano? Pero, I hope na this kind of data dissemination help us in understanding the statistics that the PSA is providing and all other activities of the agency. Again, thank you all for coming, and lunch will be served at 11:30 pa po yata. Napaaga tayo. So with that, thank you at isang magandang araw po sa ating lahat.